everybody. Thanks for joining me on Close to Death. I'm your host, Selena Roan from Fear Paranormal. Tonight, we have Jason Black, who is from Tex Park Paranormal, and he's also recently gotten the department chair, let me say that, of Ghosts and Hauntings on the National Paranormal Society. How you doing, Jason?
Oh, I'm doing real good. How you doing, Selena?
Oh, man, these last 2 days, about 60s and 70s in the morning, I've been doing pretty good here in Texas. It's like weird, though. I'm feeling like I'm in the twilight zone.
No, it's almost the end of July. It should be 80 in the morning.
Yeah, at least.
I know. I've been enjoying it myself.
Yeah, I've loved it. I know it's not going to last, though, because I just heard it's going to be 90-something this week. So I'm like, well, we had it for a minute. So just so the audience will know a little bit about you, why don't you tell them a little bit about what triggered your interest in the paranormal and kind of a little bit of background on who Jason is?
All right. Well, it kind of started when I was maybe a teenager. I had always believed in a lot of different aspects of the paranormal. You know, ghosts and hauntings, UFOs, aliens, cryptozoology. Probably when I was a teenager, I started having, some experiences and not really understanding what they were. In August of 97 was my grandmother passed away. And in October of 97, 2 months after she passed, was when I had my biggest experience ever. And I was laying in bed one day reading a book, and I felt someone watching me. I looked up, and standing in my doorway, as clear as I see anyone, was my grandmother looking at me. And she said, "Jason, don't worry, everything's okay." And she vanished from right in front of my eyes. After that, I started, I got really interested. I started reading about the paranormal, researching. It wasn't until about 4 years ago when I got involved in actual investigating. And I started doing that, and I've been going ever since.
Yeah. When we met at Granbury, we had talked on the phone a couple of times and kind of got to know each other a little bit, but I had no idea that you were actually all up in the technical part of it, because had I known that, we could have talked further, because Fear is definitely in need of some technical help as far as that goes. But now I've
been going crazy with some of this tech stuff.
Yeah,
I'm learning a lot about it. So
we're going to talk a little bit about some stuff. For one, I want to know, just out of your personal experience, which one of the pieces of equipment out of all the pieces that you have, what's like your top couple of pieces that you like?
Definitely my digital recorder. You got to have that. It's really as far as all the other little gizmos and gadgets and toys, it's really hard to say. I've got periscopes, Periscope 360, REM pod, Millimeter, K2, Geopods, SB7, laser grids, all, it's just, I can't really choose one over any other, but, if I have to go with, if I say three pieces of equipment, I would have to take the digital recorder, the Millimeter, and probably either the REM pod or the Periscope.
Yeah, that was my top. Has always been my Periscope. It's I always have digital recorder, goes without saying, because I have that just a little bit too often. Sometimes I've recorded conversations that I didn't know I was recording. So know that I run my digital recorder constantly.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, so you never know, because they ride on your voices and stuff sometimes. I kind of want to get into the Periscope aspect of it first.
Okay.
Kind of, if you know a lot about the Periscope, which, I used to put them together, and I would leave the technical portion of it to Jeremy, and he would show me how to put the board together, and then the little rods in there. So just tell us kind of a little bit about it, like what makes it tick, or what makes it work.
I did not know you did that, so I learned something new about you. From what I know, I really hadn't messed with them until I ordered mine and got it, a couple days after we met at Granbury. And of course, that was when I met Jeremy, and you know what he explained. You know, they work off more off static electricity, and you know, one thing he was saying, and I've actually done this a couple of times. Actually, investigating with Sherry, we've taken hers and mine and my Periscope 360, and have kind of had them lined up in a row. And we've had a couple instances where it'll go from one to another. So I mean, it's some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, the Periscope, as far as the static electricity goes, it's pretty awesome. He's changed it up just a tad. When I was over there last time, he's changed the order of the lights. And he said, "Tell me if it makes a difference on camera, because you want everything to be actually seen very well on camera." Well, he changed it for that reason, and for it doesn't make it more sensitive, because you have to have a lot of static electricity built up in your body to actually make the Periscope go off. You have to sit there and do your feet on the carpet or whatever, and build up enough static to actually set it off. So when you have it, like you said with Sherry, that's the way Jeremy always uses them, as well as you line them up in a hallway, and you can tell them, the spirits say, "Can you come to the sound of my voice?" And a lot of the times they'll line up, down the hallway, and Jeremy's got video where they just light up in a row like the spirits walking right towards you. So for motion, things that you can't see, and that's what spirits set off, the static electricity, the Periscope's really, really awesome for communication as well, not only watching for the movements, but my 360, when I first got the first 360 we had, we weren't getting as much, I guess, results out of it as we were the regular Periscope. And there was a reason for that, is because we had it on the ground. And there's not too many spirits that are on the ground, that low, playing with a Periscope. Right. At least the other Periscope sits up. The other ones are like this short, and they're real close to the ground. So once we put it up on a tripod, then it changed things a little bit. And we were at, actually, I got to investigate Miss Molly's Monday night.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah. A door shut right in front of our face. Door number 5.
And that's one place. That's one place that I want to get into.
Dude. On a Sunday night, though, because otherwise the music from the bars is, you can't.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Monday nights are the best, but we went on Sunday night. No, it was a Monday night, because it was right after my friend's memorial, and we got to investigate Miss Molly's and the bar downstairs, the basement bar, and it was really cool because, for one, I had experiences that, like, I was called a bitch like 5 times from the spirit box, and I was like, "You don't know me like that. Come on now." But door number 5 to the room shut right in front of me and another investigator. There was just so many experiences at that place. It was crazy. And then 2 nights before that, we were at Miss Hattie's, and the 360 was going off all night long.
Now let me ask you something, because when that 360 goes off, the lights light up, kind of spin around in a circle.
Right.
Do they usually go slow, or they usually go fast?
It just depends on I guess the range around, like if how close they are, or if they just went over there and just kind of went close to it or whatever. If it goes real slow, they're like, it's almost like they got their hand over the top of it. Like, this is a 360 right here, just so you folks know.
Right. Yeah, I've got mine.
And when you hit that certain time or whatever, where there's 2 boards in the 360. There's 1 board in the regular 360, but there's actually 2 boards in this one. And that's what makes these so much fun to put together. These are the most fun to put in, but
I can imagine.
With the boards in there, it makes it real crazy, but at least it makes it a 360, and it's not just on one side or the other. And it does. See, it depends. I mean, when I have it hovering over, it will kind of remain on the lights.
Right.
When I move it just real fast, then of course it just flickers. I really love this. We had amazing video from both places that I investigated last weekend. So
now I got something on my with the 360. I actually have video of it. I took my cousins on an investigation not too long ago with Sherry with DNS, and we found out that our grandmother was there with us, and she was being one of our spirit guides. So after the investigation, we got back to the house, and we did about a 30-minute session with the dowsing rods, communicating with Grandma, and used my 360, and I put my hand over it, just right over the top of it, and I told Grandma to touch my hand. With my hand hovering right over it, it was not doing anything. As soon as I felt her touching my hand, it just started lighting up and going around and around, nice and slow.
Yeah. I mean, normally I've seen it to where, like, it almost looks like the light at the top, the blue light, will be almost blocked out. You can almost see the way he has the bases now where it's lit up. You can almost see something almost block out the blue light, like it's trying to manipulate the lights.
Yeah.
And we saw that quite a bit at Miss Hattie's. And sometimes in the video that I have, sometimes it would go slow, and sometimes it just go real fast on just one side,
Yeah.
But amazing piece of equipment nonetheless. And,
yes, it is. I really like mine.
Well, I mean, Jeremy is a freaking genius. You know what I mean? If they could make like 10 of him to where he can produce all the stuff that's been ordered, he would be so happy, because then he can sleep every once in a while.
Right. I know it took like 3 or 4 weeks to get my Geopod.
Yeah, that's because he has special pieces in there that he has to order to get, and then once he gets them, then he has. Everything is built from scratch. I mean, it's like a piece of plastic, and then it's an awesome piece of equipment. It's crazy.
Right.
When I went over there to work with him, I was amazed at just how tiny all that stuff is inside of there, and how all that little bitty crap together makes this amazing thing work. And he's just a genius. I'm not trying to blow his little head up, because but he's
that's already
awesome.
Big enough, right?
Yeah, right. Come on now. So a lot of people, we use the spirit box at Miss Hattie's, and there was a certain speaker that this girl used to cut down on a lot of that, that interference and stuff. Do you kind of know how to tell the audience how the spirit box works, like how they manipulate it or whatever to actually say stuff? Can you explain that to them?
Well, from my understanding, what I understand is they're mostly using the white noise as it sweeps through all of the radio frequencies. It causes that white noise, and that's what they use to generate. That's what a spirit uses to generate their voice, and so that's my understanding of it. I've had hits and misses with the SB7. I've found if you're in a populated area, especially a metroplex like DFW or Houston, or somewhere that's got strong radio stations, that's all you're going to pick up.
Yeah,
there's no way around it.
AM. We tried AM, and that was actually, FM drives me crazy. It doesn't matter where you are, you're picking up every station FM has to offer. With AM, their signals to me are not as strong, of course, and I think there's not as many. So
there's not as many, and it really depends on the time of year, because there is a certain time of year when AM stations have to. I know they have to readjust their towers and readjust their signals. So at a certain time of year, maybe right before they do that, the signals aren't as strong. So they, you get a lot more on that. I'm waiting to get my SB11.
Yeah.
I haven't ordered it yet, but
Yeah, they said it won't. Dave told me, I just got in touch with him. He's been doing so many conferences and fishing quite a bit. But Dave told me that it won't be out to the public for at least 3 to 4 more weeks, at least. And I don't know. I was seeing the conversation on NPS earlier about, kind of got a little bit on the heated side between education and equipment. And not too heated. I mean, it was still all good. Nobody was throwing any punches or nothing. But
no.
What do you think about the Ovilus as a piece of equipment? Because let me just say that my personal experiences, not real happy with it. We've only had a couple of really to where it could actually be tied into the investigation words that were used. The rest of the time, the first Ovilus I got, I wanted to throw it under my truck and run it over, but it was worth $300, so that made it a little painful to think about. But what do you think about it?
Well, I don't own one. Does that tell you?
Yeah, that tells me.
I don't think it's worth spending, $200-$300 on. I know. Yeah, Diva's saying she needs a new Ovilus. Hers is faulty, and I haven't told Diva this yet. The investigation I did with DNS not too long ago, they were using they had the Ovilus going, and I had on my DVR and on my camcorder. I noticed at different moments it was repeating a lot of the same words in the same order.
Yeah.
So I have the only Ovilus I have ever used was on my iPhone on the Ghost Radar app that has the built-in Ovilus. I was at Yoakum Hospital in the basement. The Ovilus on the app said unhappy. We asked, "Are you unhappy down here?" No response. Are we making you unhappy? No response. Are we making you mad? And a direct response, it said yes. Yeah. That is the only time I have ever had any response with an Ovilus.
Yeah. Well, we've had a couple of good things, but then you kind of wonder when it says things like placebo and Pluto and placate. What spirit do you know that's going to use? I don't even use that in real life, none of those words. I never talk about the Pluto. I never talk about placebo. So what ghost or spirit is going to actually say that to somebody they're trying to communicate with? And I went, what? I'm not a scientist, so you're talking, you're wasting your breath or whatever. You're wasting your energy using this. You need to use another word I'm going to understand. And it kept doing that. Now, the first Ovilus that we got said worms at 3 different locations. It would not stop saying worms. And I was like, oh, my God. And I finally said, if it says it one more time, I said, I swear to God, we're sending it back. And it said it that one more time, and we sent it back, and they sent us another one. Now, the weird thing about the Ovilus is they want you to use only Energizer batteries.
What? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, when we bought our second one, he said they tried to have us reset it, the first one, before we sent it back, right? Uh-huh. And he said, first off, you need to only be using Energizer batteries. Which that makes you kind of go, why? Why just Energizer batteries? Does it not work with any other batteries? Do you have it programmed to just the Energizer? I don't understand how they actually program it. But anyway, needless to say, we sent it back and we got another one. And I'll be damned if it didn't say worms again. And it's still saying placebo, and it's still. So I didn't purchase it. My teammate did. So I was like, you need to sell that puppy. You know what I'm saying? And get you an orbital camera or something, because man, that thing's nuts. And I've found that actually there's an app on any of the stores, Android or Apple, called EchoVox that a guy named Danny Bigbeard put together.
Yeah.
We have had some really, really, if you can get it to the right speeds and the right mic gain and all that, you can understand it a heck of a lot better. But we had so many hits on that thing at Andrew Jackson, direct responses. I was like a non-believer at first. I'm like, man, that thing's getting on my nerves because I didn't have it at the right speed, and it was just like, all these little pieces of words, and I was like, oh my God, how can you even make anything out? Then when I slowed it down and did the mic gain and put like a delay on it, it was pretty cool. And then when you go back, you may not be able to hear it all right then because you're trying so hard to hear something.
Right.
So it records. The good thing about that app is it records every session you do.
Oh,
and
that's
I'm
cool.
talking, it hears you too. And I mean, I didn't know that. But it records every session you do, and then you can go back and you can go through it and listen to it. And if you don't, there's nothing on it, you can slide it over and delete it. And it doesn't take up any storage on your phone.
That's cool.
It's really
I have not messed with Echo Box, so I'm gonna have to try that one.
Yeah, it's only $19.99. I mean, it's the exact same. They've been compared to the Ovilus or whatever. It's actually better. It's even got its own Facebook page, Echo Box users, and they'll have all their audio and stuff on there from using it. Now, sometimes I'm like, I didn't hear that. You know what I mean? I don't know where they heard that.
Yeah.
But at Andrew Jackson, I can definitely say that it was clear. There were clear responses on there. So I'm kind of getting used to the Echo Box a little bit more. But we did use the Spirit Box at Miss Hattie's and got a lot of names and a lot of ways people died and things like that. And they don't say the F-bomb on the radio. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a radio station saying the F-bomb or calling E or whatever. You know what I mean? It was it was the Spirit. He was mouthy at me that night. I was like, you know what, dude? I take offense to that. You don't know me like that. So do you have didn't you get you a Pyramid or was it a Geopod that you got?
No, I got my Geopod.
Okay, now tell us a little bit about that cool little piece of equipment from Paranologies.
This little thing, man, it is
sensitive.
It is sensitive as all get out, and it's got a sensitivity knob to turn it down. Even if you turn it all the way, to the strongest, it's still very sensitive.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll joke and say you can even feel a squirrel walk across outside sometimes because we use that also on staircases and floors and things like that. And how does it actually work? What does it do, Jason?
It actually detects vibrations, especially if it's on the ground. You're gonna it's I would say similar to what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of it. Kind of like the Richter scale. There we go. It detects vibrations. Like the Richter scale, detects earthquakes and everything. The Geopod's going to detect those very small vibrations. It's kind of a way smaller version of a Richter scale, more than anything.
Yeah.
It's going to detect those vibrations and it lights up when it feels the vibrations.
And the thing that's cool about that, we used one in, I actually used one of them in Galena at the Murder Bordello and put it on the staircase. And what was cool is when I was sitting there at the table looking, I could hear footsteps, and I couldn't tell where they were, if they were coming down the stairs or they were just above my head. And all of a sudden, I see that little Geopod light up on the staircase, and I'm like, well, I guess that answers that question. You're coming down the stairs.
There's another app that I've used, which is the Hawes Parakit. It's formerly the TAPS app that Jason Hawes uses on Ghost Hunters.
Right.
On the iPad, and it's got a Geopod built into it. And I have used that before on my iPad and have actually gotten responses. My iPad has been sitting on a table and just sitting completely still, and that thing starts beeping, something's touching it, or something's touching the table, making the table vibrate, or something walking around when nobody else is moving. So, it's the same thing, just detecting the vibrations.
Oh, wow. That's kind of cool. I didn't know they had... I knew they had an app to find haunted locations, but I didn't know they had an app for that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the app that they use, they use it... I don't think they use it as much anymore. They used it... Jason used it a lot when it first came out on Ghost Hunters. It's got EMF detector, geopod, and voice recorder all built into one.
Okay.
So, it's kind of a pretty cool app. I don't use it a whole lot, but every once in a while I get some good things with the geopod part of it.
Well, have you yet gotten to use a paranormal digital assistant from Paranologies yet? Have you gotten?
I have not.
Well, let me just tell the audience a little bit about this. This is a pretty cool little gadget. It'll take your place of about 2 or 3 different pieces of equipment. I don't know how good my battery is because I'm not going to say it Harbor Freight. But anyway,
go figure.
They're weak. So this is what they call a Paranologies PDA. There's a little bit of a reflection, but anyway, and it has a built-in IR light. Oh, look, it actually does work. How about that? You go.
Hey.
What it does is it takes place of your camcorder, and it also records, it also records audio as well. North Texas Ghost Society captured a couple of EVPs off of it while they were recording video. I have not really gotten to upload mine to my computer yet to review it, but I have a lot of cool evidence on this thing. The deal with this is, the good thing about this is it's a modified cell phone. Now, it comes all together in this one piece or whatever, and you can record, you can take photos or whatever, and the good thing about this is you cannot use it as a cell phone. It does not have cell phone capabilities except for the fact that it is Wi-Fi capable, which means you hook up the Wi-Fi, you can take your video, and you can send it directly to your YouTube channel, Facebook, wherever you want to send it, your email, whatever.
Okay, cool.
Also, it has a live camera feed that Jeremy has to show me how to do again, because he did show me at Granbury, to where you can actually set this up and do a live investigation and have its own web page. Like its own website.
Oh, yeah, I do remember him talking about that.
Yeah.
I remember him showing us that.
About this. But it's also takes up a lot less room in your equipment case than a big old camcorder and a big old huge IR light and all this other stuff. Now, of course, this light is not going to light up a huge room or whatever.
Right.
So you got to know that. But anyway, the video... it'll come up in just a second, but anyway, you can choose from whatever video and then just review it, and then you can send it to wherever you want to send it to, like I said, to your YouTube channel directly from the phone. Or you can upload it to your computer and do it that way. Golly, I've got tons of stuff from Miss Molly's. Yeah, I mean, the girl was playing with my thing. She's like, I want to play with your toys. I'm like, hey, now, you're getting a little personal. But anyway, it's really a cool piece of equipment, and it's only $150. So that, like I said, replaces it. The only thing you have to buy for it is the SD card and a battery, which 9 volts, and I would suggest good batteries for this one, so it'll be stronger, because let me just say the lights with those batteries were not very strong. But that is the lights that he's designed always, Paranologies, there's never one of those halo effects to where it's that big old huge white light. Thing, yeah.
I might have to get one of those instead of carrying this bad boy around.
Holy crap-a-noli. Yeah, well, I've got one almost identical to that. Is that the night vision camcorder from Bell and Howell? Or?
No, actually, I ordered this one from. Actually, I think I ordered this one from Ghost Hunter store.
Oh, okay.
But I got the Phantom infrared and the full spectrum light, and then of course Jeremy's big large IR light.
Okay, well, he also makes the large IR UV light together. So you could get one of those and get rid of those two on the side and just have the one big IR UV light. It does both.
Yeah. So. Well, when I talked to him, I was talking to him about this one, and because we were talking about filming outdoors.
Right.
It doesn't catch anything outdoors. It's better for indoors.
Yeah.
He was telling me that he has an idea to take the power button off of the front, put it on the side, and put a larger IR LED spot in the center, so it will shine farther for outdoors.
Yeah, you definitely need more lighting for outdoors. The small IR lights are for small rooms. I mean,
yeah.
You're going to have an extra setup on your camera. Speaking of cameras, which camera, I mean, if someone was to get started and just need like a camcorder but can't really figure out the paranormal digital assistant, and they just have a regular camcorder, I mean, what are the things they need as far as, they need IR for sure. They need night vision on it for sure.
Yeah, it's gotta have night vision capabilities. It's hard to find those. The Sony Handycams were the ones that were doing that a few years ago, but they actually stopped doing that, I believe.
Yeah.
Really, the only ones that I've been able to find, as far as something brand new, has been Ghost Hunter store or any of the paranormal equipment websites. You might get lucky every once in a while on Craigslist or something, but just they have all different types. Of course, like camera body styles. I like the kind of classic body style, the handheld. They have the other kind that are kind of look like this, or it's just my temperature thermometer, but they kind of look like this in a way. So you're just holding it like this.
Yeah.
I don't personally care for that style. For somebody
those are like the little flip cameras you're talking about, the SVC or whatever, the little flip.
Yeah, the little flip cameras.
Yeah. I actually got lucky on eBay and I found a killer Bell and Howell night vision IR whatever brand new camera, and it had all the accessories like the tripods and the cleaners and the lenses and everything you could trade out for it for like $299. And that was on eBay, and it's a sweet camera, but you have to make sure that you have a fast enough SD card, or because if you get a slow one, your video seems to be like real jerky,
choppy.
And that was dry. At first, I was like, "What in the world is going on with this? This is a killer 1080p." You know what I mean? Bell and Howell. Not what the heck is going on with my video?
Yeah.
Why does it look like I'm, and I'm like, I can't even review this crap. It's worse than Blair Witch. So I asked what the hell, and they were like, you need a faster SD card, like a class 10 or whatever, or speed 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I got, and it made all the difference in the world.
Oh yeah, that does make all the difference in the world.
And that night vision actually by itself on the Bell and Howell is not bad at all. It has a pretty good range, and then when you have it set up like you have that U-shaped arm that you have right there, hole that is a real lightweight.
I love that thing.
I have my light set up on it for extra light, but I definitely for outside I've got to have another setup because I have no luck filming outside.
I don't either.
I mean, you got to have this one dude. It was so funny. We were at Duff Green Mansion with Barry and Brad, and this guy, he said, I got to set up my stuff. And he pulls this freaking, it looked like a football stadium light, man. He was like, and it was like 200 LEDs. And I was like, oh my God, you're going to give like everyone in here a headache in a minute. I mean, it was just, I don't even know how he carried it around. It was just so big. You just kind of went, and it was huge. It was a phantom light, and it had like, I can't remember, a ridiculous amount of IR. And we're like, dude, we're inside. We're not like filming in caves and stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, he was looking like he was trying to flood out a football stadium with it. It was crazy.
I haven't even seen those.
So what is TexPart up to? Can you tell us what y'all are doing in McKinney with these? I saw some event that you have.
Yeah. We've got this next coming Saturday, July 26th, and the following Saturday, August 2nd. We're doing an event. It's called Dinner and a Ghost Hunt at the Pantry Restaurant in downtown McKinney.
Okay.
It's $20 a person. We're kind of trying. I think we're trying to work out right now with that including dinner or not. We're still trying to work that last minute detail out. Right as of right now, it's $20 a person plus your meal. There's still plenty of spots left. You can actually find our meetup page. We have a group on meetup.com. Search for TexPart Paranormal. You can sign up on there. I know Diva and Badass and a couple others are coming out next weekend, and we're gonna just kind of do dinner for about an hour, and then we're gonna have two groups. We're gonna do one group 1 hour investigating, and the other group's gonna do a little ghost tour around downtown McKinney, and then swap out and just kind of doing a little investigation.
Okay, so the pantry obviously has a couple of sightings or claims of being haunted.
There has been some activity there. TexPart has investigated the pantry before I joined. I do think they have caught some evidence there and had some experiences. Of course, there's a lot of those places there in the downtown McKinney Square area that are just really active.
Yeah, when we went to the McKinney Ghost Walk, it was probably a couple years ago. I know that is where they had that little town, kind of like they moved those buildings, and it looks like a little town.
Oh yeah, Chestnut Square.
That's it.
Yeah, we do. We do a ghost hunting 101 class once a month, and after that we usually do a mini investigation out in Chestnut Square. So we're out there.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of activity there. There's one of the houses that things get thrown. We have one of the chandeliers. I mean, there was no air. There was no airflow going through. There was no breeze. The chandelier is just going in circles.
Yeah,
and
the houses are not made for tall people at all. I'm like, my God.
This chandelier was acting like a pendulum.
Oh, wow.
It started going around in circles, and we asked it to stop, and it stopped, and then we asked it to make it go around the other way, and it started going the other way. So it was acting the chandelier was actually acting as a pendulum.
Oh my God!
It was really cool. I actually got that on video.
That's great.
We've got a couple other events coming up in the next few months. In October, of course, in October we've got Ghost Walk for 2 weekends. We're also trying to put together a first annual zombie walk.
Okay.
We're trying to organize a big zombie walk, and proceeds from that are going to benefit the American Red Cross. So we're going to probably start advertising that hopefully soon. And then that's pretty much all we got going on. And that's some pretty big events. Usually Ghost Walk is our biggest thing of the year. So.
Wow. Well, we Jason and I are actually going to go on what I've been setting up called the Paranormal Palooza weekends.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Here in about less than a month now. And the cool thing about these trips are, for one, you can't beat the price.
Heck no.
You get 2 nights in a John Wise haunted mansion. Now, this is for this trip. This is going to change locations because we are going to be staying in a bed and breakfast the next one I set up. Anyway, there's 2 spots available, which I still can't believe that nobody's jumped on these because
they're still open.
But it's got, you stay at the haunted mansion, so you get to investigate the whole time you're staying there, day and night, whatever you want to do, set up whatever, and you can investigate. Friday night on August the 15th, I believe it is, we'll be going to the Kindred House, which is in Carthage, Missouri. And that is got so much history and Civil War and slavery and just all kinds of stuff going on there. And then, I know you're going to be loving this place. And then the next night, we're going to head on over to Galena's Murder Bordello in Galena, Kansas, which is so weird because we're right there at the 4 corners. So you can hop over into Arkansas or Oklahoma or Missouri or Kansas, and you're just a minute away from your place you're staying. But the thing about this is that it's all for $175, and that's incredible because you can't even hardly get a hotel room for $100+ for one night, but you're getting 2 nights and 3 locations to investigate. So you'd be crazy not to go, and it's only a 6-hour drive straight up from Dallas, Texas. So I know everybody's watching this from all over the place, but Missouri's kind of right in the center of U.S. Yeah. So y'all need to join us for this. It's going to be really, really cool. We're going to have all kinds of equipment to show you at that actual event. Call it.
I'll have my case with me.
Yeah, we'll have that truck loaded down when we get there. But we're gonna get a lot of really good evidence. I just know we are. Because of the fact that I got so much when I was there last time, and we didn't even get to do the Galena Bordello at night. We were doing it during the day for 2 hours, really? And we're playing poker with spirits. It was crazy. The temperscope was going off. The periscopes were going off. It was wild. So I can't wait to actually go back on a Saturday night because I haven't done a nighttime investigation there since we filmed the Shadows on 66 DVD, which was a year ago in June. So I can't wait to see what a Saturday night holds in store for us there.
I'm excited about that one. That's going to be a great one.
Oh, I know. And the road trip's not that bad. I mean, you're talking 6 hours up, Oklahoma and all that, but it's not bad at all. It's kind of pretty, actually. We got one question in the chat room, and it is, how do you feel about the spiritual side of investigations?
Oh, man.
That's a good one.
that is a good one. Depends on what you mean the spiritual side of investigations. You're talking about the spiritual side as in the mediums and empaths and all of that, or are you talking about, your religious spiritual side?
Well, let's go with the human tools. How you actually the human tools. Yeah. Your human self. I mean, your spiritual. Do you feel things, or I guess that's what they're asking. I'm not sure. What are you asking? So, do you protect yourself with a prayer before or after? Do you?
Yeah, I usually do. I usually say a prayer before, prayer after. I've recently been kind of getting more spiritual in respects that I've been able to start feeling more things and sensing more things going on. So, I mean, that's I've never really been that way before, so I'm kind of developing that on my own.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some times when I can walk into some place and be like, oh man, there's something here.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling all too well. Walked into a vampire boutique in New Orleans, and man, I'm telling you right now, it was so heavy in that place. It felt like somebody kicked me in the chest, and I was like, "Oh my God, man, something is really not quite on board right here. Something ain't right here." So I kind of looked around the shop as fast as I could, and then left. So because It was just it was that heavy, but. You know, I recently found out that I have empathic abilities in January, and I've been developing a lot and learning how to meditate and things like that. I've always been able to feel like my mom's illness when I was little. I could feel when she didn't feel well. I could sense things. I had dreams all the time, just like in my presentation. And I never know that I was an empath until recently, and man, I'm telling you, once you open up your abilities, it just sometimes comes flooding in, and then sometimes when you're younger and you have them and you shut them down, it's so hard to get them back. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm right there on the cusp of being able to go to the next step, but because I shut them down, it's almost like I'm having to work harder to get them back. Because it's a God-given, gift. And so you're kind of refusing a gift from God. So it's like he's kind of making you work a little bit harder for it to get it back. I don't know. But it is opening up, and sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not so much fun, going into an investigation and feeling some of the things that goes on. Where have you had your most, I guess, profound experience besides your grandma? Besides that, as an investigator in the past, however many years?
Yorktown Hospital. I've been to that place 3 times. I would have to say that's probably one of my favorite places to go. I've been touched. I've been pushed. I've had my hair pulled. I've had my shirt pulled. I've been screamed at. I've gotten sick. I've been affected big time in that place.
Wow.
Something there does not like me for some reason.
Wow.
I want to go back. I'm ready to go back again.
Isn't that crazy how we do that?
I know, right? Something there does not like me. Let's go back.
Blood for punishment. I want to go back and say hey to him again.
Right.
Yeah. As you were talking about Old Yoakum Hospital, those guys down there are so cool. Gary and all them, I just love those guys.
Oh yeah, Gary and Robbie. I've known Robbie for a few years. Well before I knew he was ever into the paranormal stuff. I had met him with a friend of mine's band that I was kind of playing with here and there. We would go play up at Robbie's restaurant at Colette Inn, and then later on I learned that he was running Yoakum Group and all of that. And I think it was a couple years ago they were doing an open house at Yorktown, and I was like, I sent him a message on Facebook, said, "Dude, put me down for a ticket. I'm on that."
Yeah.
That was my 3rd time going to Yorktown.
Yeah, well, they're going again. Gary just told me they're going again, and he needs 4 people. So you might want to contact Gary. I don't know. I don't remember him telling me or not. But anyway, so contact Gary and you can go again. But we gotta go investigate somewhere together really soon. I know I'm crazy busy up until like September sometime, but we gotta figure out a time where you and I and Diva and Badass can go and investigate together.
Yeah, Diva and I were talking about that the other, I think last weekend.
Huh. Where are you now? I was wondering why my ears were burning.
Yeah, we were talking about, trying to get everybody together and go find a good place to go.
Yeah,
we'll definitely have to work that out.
But we just got to find one around locally because that's a little bit of a drive, Miss Hattie's is. But it got us some really good. It's a drive, but we'll find one around here.
Oh, definitely.
We're kind of coming to the end of the show. Can you tell people where they can find you and your team and everything and your events?
Yeah, you can find Tex Park Paranormal on Facebook. Just search for Tex Park Paranormal. You'll find us there. You can find me. I just started my new page. You can find me on Facebook at Parastud. Facebook.com/Parastud. You'll find me there. You can also find Tex Part on Meetup.com. Search for Meetup. You'll find us there. It's Tex Part Center for Spiritual Wellness, and you can also find me on NPS. I'm always on there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna take a lot of time right there, buddy. He's on NPS a lot because he's got a lot of people to watch over now. What do y'all? We have like 30-something thousand members on there now.
Just hit 36,000 just maybe a couple hours ago.
36.
Yep.
Holy cow! It was only 30,000 last week. What is going on?
Last Sunday it was 32,800. And we hit 36,000 a day. That's almost 3,000, little over 3,000 members in 1 week.
That's good stuff, man. Go NPS.
Yeah.
That's really good stuff. Well, Jason, I appreciate you being on my show. And
I enjoyed it. Appreciate you having me.
Hey, no problem. And I'll be seeing you soon. And we'll talk with Diva and see when we can get together.
Most definitely.
All right, man. Have a good evening.
All right, you too. Take it easy.
All right, thanks. All right, you guys, I hope that helped a little bit on your equipment questions. Got a couple of events to announce. The one that Jason and I were just discussing is the Paranormal Palooza weekend. It's August 15th and 16th, and there's only 2 spots left for that. It's $175, and that includes 2 nights lodging and 3 locations to investigate. Please look on Fear's Facebook page for all the information for that. The second one is Beckham Hotel event, which is on August 23rd. We have 4 spots available for that. It's $52. It's an overnight stay. Bring your air mattress. And like I said, you have to get your spot. 4 left, and that's also on Fear Paranormal's Facebook page. Now, the big one that I need to tell you about is Dakota Lawrence. He will be in New Orleans August 30th. It is the smallest gallery Dakota has ever offered, of 15 people for each gallery. There's going to be one at 3 and one at 5 at the Gemini. This was an old gay bar that was set fire, and 32 men lost their lives there. We're going to be doing that on August 30th. So get your tickets. All the information's all over NOLA Ghost Hunting Tours page, on Fear, on my personal page. It's everywhere. But you've got to get your tickets. Phantom Fest is September 26th and 27th at the Minger Hotel in San Antonio. Get your VIP passes for that. There's some amazing guests as well there. I need to also let you know if you need any equipment, Paranologies, or Ghost Hunter Store, send me a message and I'll hook you up as best I can with some discounts. Check us out on fearparanormal.wix.com/fear-1. I want to thank my sponsors real quick. The first sponsor is Miss Hattie's Place in Belton, Texas. Right now through August 31st, we've extended it. We're going to have a $200 investigation special for overnight. 8 people is pretty much the max. So $200 for an overnight investigation. You can't beat it. Numbers on the screen. Or you can email us at misshattiesplace@yahoo.com. The next sponsor is Galena's Murder Bordello in Galena, Kansas, where the Shadows on 66 DVD was filmed. That place is amazing. It's active. It's got tons of history. And not only that, but the town and the townspeople are the nicest people, I think, some of them I've ever met. So please go check out the Galena Murder Bordello page. Give it a like and make sure it's on your bucket list. And finally, on my sponsors is NOLA Ghost Hunting Tours. They run them out of the Gemini Lounge in the French Quarter. The guys are awesome. Kevin Betzer from Deep South Paranormal, my friend Chris Melanson from Paranormal Society of New Orleans. They both run this. Sometimes Randy Hardy stops in and gives them a hand, so check it out. They don't do just your regular ghost tour around and listen to the history. They actually do an investigation with you. Now, for the biggest thing, the announcement I have is that Dakota Lawrence does not do radio very often and definitely does not do internet shows. But guess what? He's doing mine next week. He will be live on my show, and you will be able to call in and speak to him. It'll just be a preview of what the people in New Orleans are going to get August 30th. So please join us next Sunday. Dakota Lawrence, psychic, clairvoyant, medium. Amazing. 7 p.m. Don't miss it. Thanks a lot for joining me. Have a good week. And peace out.